The world doesn't care about reasons, about what stood in your way, or why things didn't go as planned. All that matters is the outcome. Excuses are the refuge of the weak, the mask behind which failure hides. Those who cling to them, who offer reasons for their shortcomings, are destined to be forgotten. In the end, the world only remembers the victor, the one who doesn't explain why it couldn't be done, but instead does it regardless of the obstacles. The result is all that matters. The rest is just noise. Effort means nothing without results. People take pride in the struggle, in how hard they tried, but effort without victory is meaningless. The world does not reward attempts. It rewards triumphs. The hero who fights but falls is just another name lost to history. It's the one who rises, who endures, who achieves what others could not, that leaves a mark. To live by results is to strip away the illusions, to understand that good intentions and hard work are nothing if they lead to failure. Success is not measured by how hard the journey was, but by whether you stood at the end of it. The path to results is not paved with excuses. It's paved with sacrifices, with choices that others shy away from, with a relentless drive that does not pause for fear or doubt. The world will throw obstacles in your way. It always does. But the only thing that separates those who make excuses from those who succeed is the refusal to stop, no matter what stands in the way. There is no honor in losing gracefully. There is only honor in victory, in claiming what is yours through whatever means necessary. People seek validation in their excuses, in their explanations for why things went wrong. But there is no comfort in failure, only the cold reality that you were not enough. The weak rationalize their losses, but those who are driven by results see failure for what it is. A call to rise again, stronger, colder, more ruthless. No excuses, just results. That is the mantra of those who refuse to be broken, who refuse to let the world decide their fate.
Please take this short break from your video to support our channel by getting yourself merch. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Results don't care about the struggle. They only care about the outcome. In the end, the world loves results more than it loves heroes. Heroes fall. Results remain. To live by results is to embrace the reality that only the strongest, the most relentless, achieve anything worth remembering. Those who cling to their excuses, their justifications, will watch from the shadows as those who demand results take the world by force. Results are the only currency that matters. Everything else fades, forgotten, buried beneath the weight of what could have been, but never was. You're going to pay a price for every bloody thing you do, and everything you don't do. That's the brutal law of this world. Every action demands a cost, and every inaction carves its toll into your soul. There is no escape from the payment, no clever way to sidestep the consequences. Life is a ledger, and every choice you make tallies a debt. You don't get to walk away unscathed. You don't get to pretend the bill isn't coming. The only choice you have is which poison you're willing to swallow. There's no avoiding the pain. Only choosing which kind will define you. People want to believe they can evade the cost, that they can tread lightly through life and somehow avoid the consequences of their choices. But life doesn't work that way. Every decision, every path taken or not taken, leaves a scar. Some scars are visible, others buried deep beneath the surface, but they're there all the same. The idea of a safe choice, of a decision without risk, is a comforting lie. The price is always there. lurking just out of sight. It waits, patient, until you're too far to turn back, and then it strikes. No one is exempt from the reckoning. You can run from one price, but in doing so, you'll pay another. Sacrifice is inevitable. To live, to act, is to suffer. Every victory, every gain, comes with a loss somewhere else. The hero wants to believe in a world where good intentions and noble efforts lead to clean wins, but reality is far darker. There are no clean victories. Every step forward requires leaving something behind, something lost forever. The stronger you become, the heavier the burden you carry, and the deeper the cost that weighs on your shoulders. The world doesn't allow anyone to climb without pushing someone else down. Choosing your poison is all that remains. You don't get to avoid the suffering. You only get to decide where it will strike. You can try to dodge the pain, but it will find you, one way or another. Some choose the poison of regret, of inaction, of letting opportunities slip by in the name of safety. Others, the poison of ambition, of sacrifice, burning away everything soft until there is nothing left but the will to conquer. Either way, the poison takes its toll. The difference is whether you choose the price of failure, of mediocrity, or the price of pushing beyond the limits. No matter what must be sacrificed along the way. No excuses, just results. That's the reality of the choice. You don't get to hide behind reasons or rationalizations. The world only sees what you achieve, the price you paid to get there, the blood you spilled, the things you left behind. They're all part of the cost, but no one cares about the cost, only the result. Excuses are for those who chose the wrong poison, who weren't willing to suffer for the outcome they desired. The victorious choose their poison and swallow it whole, knowing that in the end, it's the results that matter. When you decide to confront your faults, to truly see yourself for what you are, you step into the abyss. This isn't some casual self-reflection or passing moment of guilt. It's the raw dissection of your soul. To learn about your flaws is to open a doorway to something deeper, something darker. It's like peeling back the layers of a mask you've worn your entire life, exposing the rot beneath. And in that darkness, there is revelation, the kind that strips away illusion and forces you to face the brutal reality of who you are. That line of communication you open isn't with some distant benevolent force. It's with the darkest parts of yourself, the pieces you've tried to bury. It's not gentle guidance. It's the voice that tells you what you already know, but refuse to accept. It whispers your weakness, your failure, your deepest regrets. And yet, in that confrontation, there is power. Maybe that voice is what some call a conscience, or maybe it's something far more ancient and primal, something closer to the core of human existence. Whatever it is, it doesn't lie. It lays bare the things you've hidden, forces you to acknowledge the things you'd rather forget. Perhaps consulting that voice is akin to speaking with God, or perhaps it's far more sinister than that. It's the part of you that knows the price of weakness, the part that recognizes how close you are to breaking. It isn't there to comfort you or offer salvation. It's there to demand change, to demand that you rise from your failures or be consumed by them. It's not a discussion with a higher power. It's a reckoning with yourself. And in that reckoning, there are no excuses, only the raw, undeniable truth of what must be done. To rectify your faults is not to seek forgiveness. Forgiveness is a luxury, a weakness. To rectify your faults is to face them head on, to reshape yourself into something harder, something stronger, something that no longer falters in the face of the inevitable. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming unbreakable. The process is ugly, painful, and ruthless, but it's necessary. The world doesn't care about your faults, about your struggle to overcome them. It only cares about what you become when you emerge from the other side. No excuses, just results. That's what this confrontation demands. When you open that line of communication with the deepest parts of yourself, there is no room for rationalizing your failures. There's only the choice to change or to fall. Excuses are for those who are too afraid to face themselves, too weak to acknowledge the darkness within. But those who do, those who stand before their faults and don't flinch, understand that the only thing that matters is the result. To learn your faults is not to lament them, it's to obliterate them, to rise beyond them, and to become something that no longer needs to explain itself. It takes careful observation to truly see the cracks in your own beliefs. The comfortable lies you tell yourself, the certainties you cling to, they're not as solid as they appear. But people rarely look that deeply. They live within the walls they've built, blind to the foundations rotting beneath their feet. To scratch the surface of your beliefs is to risk collapsing the whole structure, to open yourself up to the possibility that everything you thought you knew was a convenient fiction. Most avoid that risk because to question your beliefs is to unravel your sense of control. Education offers no comfort either. It exposes the limitations of your mind, reveals how little you understand about the world you've built for yourself. The more you learn, the less certain you become. The boy seeks knowledge to feel powerful, to feel as though the world is understandable. But the man knows that knowledge only opens more questions, more shadows. The deeper you dive, the more fragile your beliefs become. Education doesn't lead to certainty. It leads to doubt. It strips away the illusions, leaving only the stark reality that nothing is as simple, as black and white, as you once thought. Reflection? It's the hardest part. To sit in the silence and tear apart your own thoughts, to dissect the motivations behind every belief, every action. It's not enlightenment. It's destruction. Every belief you hold, every conviction, is rooted in something deeper, something often far more selfish and base than you'd ever admit. Reflection forces you to confront that. It forces you to see the dark corners of your mind that shape your worldview, to acknowledge that your beliefs are built not on truth, but on survival. And in that realization, there is no comfort, only a reckoning with how far from the surface you've strayed. Communication with others only deepens the fracture. Everyone holds their own shadowed view of the world, their own twisted beliefs. And when you truly listen, really listen, you start to see just how fragile your own are. Their words clash with yours. Their experiences challenge your certainties. Every conversation becomes a battlefield, not with the other person, but with yourself. The more you communicate, the more your beliefs are tested, pushed to their breaking point, until you're forced to either harden them into something unyielding or shatter them entirely. No excuses, just results. That's what it all comes down to. Scratching the surface of your beliefs isn't about discovery or growth. It's about survival. It's about stripping away the lies you've told yourself and confronting the raw, uncomfortable reality of who you are and what you truly believe. It's not enough to observe, to learn, to reflect, or to communicate. In the end, the only thing that matters is what you do with that knowledge, what you become after all the illusions have been torn away. There's no room for excuses in this process. No room for rationalizing the things you once believed. Only the result matters. The version of you that stands when the smoke clears, harder, colder, and unbreakable.